Yeah, I'm Eric Hutchinson. The new album's called Pure Fiction. I called this album Pure Fiction because I finished writing it and I looked at all the songs and I said, oh, none of these songs are about me. This is all fiction. And then I started thinking how these songs are probably all about me on some level, and can anything, you know, getting deep here, but can anything that comes from me really be fiction? So I put Pure Fiction on there as sort of like, it's almost tongue-in-cheek of like, is anything really fiction? And also it sounded like Pulp Fiction, which I liked. I'm sort of become obsessed with like a lot of my favorite artists. Their third album is sort of where they like kind of figured it out, you know, and whether it's Billy Joel or Springsteen or even like Radiohead or something. I like this idea of the third album, and I was kind of had that in the back of my head when I was making this album. You know, I feel like I learned a lot on the first album. There were some growing pains on the second one, and this one sort of feel like everything's been building up to. Can I get a little more from you? I really wanted to have a modern sounding album. You know, I'm a classicist and I don't even know if classicist is a word. It's hard to say, though. I mean, I grew up loving the Beatles and Stevie Wonder, and I felt like I always needed to make music like that, and I had to divorce myself from that idea and be, you know, I wanted to be my own artist, and I wanted to make music that could work now and not in 1971 or something, you know, and so I pushed that, and it was sometimes uncomfortable, but I was proud of like where it came out, and to me, I don't take it as an insult to have a fan say your new album sounds different. You know, I mean, that's what I want. Whether people know it or not, they don't want me to keep making the same album over and over again. I live in New York. I've been here for about 7 years now, and I wrote the album here, and then I recorded it in LA. This album kind of happened fast for me. A lot of times I'm a very methodical songwriter. It takes a long time, but these songs were really coming out fast, and I didn't want to like lose that momentum, so I immediately called LA. I called all of LA. I said, can you book me a studio? And I got a studio and flew out there and just started working on stuff right away. And this album kind of came together much quicker than I was used to, which I've been excited about. Yeah. Can I get a little more? Can I get a little more? I write the hard way by myself, which is not always great, but I just know how to do it that way. But I actually had my first like real co-write on this album, a song called Forever. And I wrote it with a guy named Keith Sleddahl from this band, The 88, which I just loved. And I never really knew him, but I called him up. I said, can we do something? And it was really great because he has this beautiful voice and a certain way of writing songs. And I got to like borrow some of that stuff into my song. And it sort of, you know, became our song. And it's like, I can really appreciate it on the album because it's almost like it's my album, but I'm listening to his album for a second there, you know. And that I found really nice. And I think I'll probably be doing more of that. I've got a good group of guys that tour with me, and to me it's about like getting that energy off stage, bringing it on stage, and using that to lead the crowd in, you know, a big show, because the kind of shows I like going to are where the audience feels connected and it seems like the guy up on stage gives a damn if you're there or not, you know. I know what it's like getting yourself to a venue. It's sometimes a pain, and so I never take anybody for granted that's there, you know, try to have a good time. Yeah, the Minneapolis fans are amazing, and I keep going back there all the time. For whatever reason, the music's really connected there, and it's, you know, always the place that sells out first, and people are really excited, and so I love going there, and we go more there than anywhere else as a result. It's just you know, it's one of those towns that people love music and culture and arts, and you can really feel it when you get on stage. I mean, that's like, really, that's the best, you know. That's the stuff I got addicted to really early when I was starting to do music, and that's the thing you're kind of always chasing every night when you get out on stage. I definitely agonize over the set list, but to me, I'm always trying to get to a place where it's like the perfect set list. I'm not a guy who wants to like redo it all the time. I actually sort of believe there's one perfect set list that can run, and somewhere along the tour we'll usually figure it out, and then I'll kind of just stick with that, because it's like making a good playlist, you know. You want to peak in the beginning, and you want to have the peaks and valleys, but you don't ever want to you don't want to lose the audience, you know. That's like my number one thing I'm always afraid of. I got a short attention span, so I'm always worried that everyone else is checking their watch or something, you know. It's really easy to let the negative comments from people either online or in person stick to me, you know, and that's the stuff you hear and remember. So, and there are really people that will send me really nice notes, or after a show will tell me how the songs got them through a difficult time or something, and I really try to make a moment there to appreciate what they're saying and listen to that, you know, because that's also not an easy thing to tell somebody, you know, I went through something tough and you helped me out, and you know, I mean, really, what did I get into this for if it's not if it's not for that, like, what is the music for at all? And I know what that's like to have had other artists help me through that stuff. So it feels good to be part of that circle. Hi, I'm Eric Hutchinson. Look for me on Last.fm.